Hi everyone, it's Avi here from Invest, and I just wanted to give you a little update on the market and also try to explain some of these charts that we're putting out on Twitter and Instagram and Discord of really what they are. So the first chart here, this is our Bitcoin lunchtime edition album that we put out every day at lunchtime, and this just shows you the price of Bitcoin, right, in candles, and candles are just a different way of showing prices. This one shows the price for each hour, and it shows the open, high, low, and close. And so the body of this candle, see here, it shows you where it opened, where it closed, and that was the high. And then the low will also be if there's a wick on the downside. So this one, there's a little wick on the downside. So you get to see the open, high, low, and close of it. Candlesticks you can look up on the internet. They're fairly commonly used for financial markets when you want to chart prices, just to be able to see where the prices went through in the whole time interval. And so we're not going to spend too much time on this one. Now, this is a chart that a lot of people ask me about. I say, what is this, your trend score? What does it mean to be a trend score? So let's spend a little bit of time on here on what exactly it means to be a trend score. So listen, a trend score is anything that you use, a trader defines, and this one I just defined myself, is something I use when I look at different stocks and commodities and currencies and different things, and cryptocurrencies obviously, that I found to work very well. And what a trend score really tries to do is just to tell you the direction of the trend. Is it going up or is it going down? So here you can see if it's blue, that means the trend is going up, and if it's red, it means it's going down. So that's really what you should take away from it. And as a trend score, if it goes really low, that can also be a contrary signal that it's probably oversold and you're looking for a bounce back up. But usually, in general, you want to go with which way the trend score is. The one caveat is that trend scores are always going to be late. Trend scores are never going to get you in at the bottom by definition. They're always going to have to wait until the trend has been formed before you're going to get an accurate trend score reading. But it does give you an indication of kind of what some of these algorithmic models, what they look for. They all look for kind of trends. So that's one thing here, right? The next chart is Bitcoin dominance, right? This is the percentage of the total cryptocurrency market cap that is accounted for by Bitcoin. And so what you're supposed to take away from this is that usually in the past, we've seen that when the Bitcoin dominance is growing, that's usually not such a positive thing for the overall crypto markets. That means that the other altcoins are not doing so well. And that means that Bitcoin is doing very well. Although if you look over time, Bitcoin dominance has been coming down. But if you're looking at, let's say, for the past couple of months, you have seen that actually Bitcoin dominance has been going up. And that's obviously because the cryptocurrency markets have been in a pretty steep bear market. So that's something to keep an eye on. Usually when Bitcoin starts to underperform, then when the dominance starts to go down, that means it's a pretty good sign for the cryptocurrency markets. And some people, they think that the Bitcoin dominance over time is going to go down to less than 30%, 20%, 10%, and that's very likely if we continue to see a growing cryptocurrency ecosystem. But for right now, what the market is telling us is that the dominance is still going up, and I would wait for a couple, at least a couple of days where it starts to go down before getting reading any too much into these little daily squiggles here. Okay, and this last chart is the chart of the daily signals page. So a lot of people ask me, what is this? What are these different daily signals, this whole big thing here? What should I interpret this? Okay, so it might take me another video to go through all of it, but I'll do my best in this one to give you just a brief understanding of it, right? So here we have the trend score 1, and then we have another trend score 2, right? So if it's red, it's sell, and if it's blue, it's a buy, right? And if it's 0, it's neither red or blue. So this one, it's going from kind of orangey, nothing, to kind of sell, to now it's going back to nothing. So it's kind of giving you turning to positive. The second trend score is still pointing to down. We don't have any breakups. So a breakup or a breakout down is basically if price has gone over a previous high, what classical technical traders would call a breakout. So if you have a breakout to the upside, this would light up blue, and if you have a breakout to the downside, it lights up orange or red, right? So we haven't seen a breakout to the downside, but we haven't seen any breakout to the upside either. And this one, the last one, is called big move. So usually you want to see the start of a trend, or when you're in a good trend, you want to see big moves to kind of confirm if the trend is going. So we've seen actually a big move to the upside, although here I don't tell you which way if the big move is going up or down. But usually you want to see a big move with the start of a trend turning positive. So if you were to look at this very quickly every day and you're kind of want to think, what can I take away from this? So what I would tell you is that you want to see blue or red. If you want to buy, you want to see blue in more than one different column, right? So here are the different columns. So if you would want to see the trend score 2 being blue, you want to see the trend score 1 being blue, and you would want to see breakout to the upside being blue. That would give you like a 3 out of 3 for the upside, right? And then also the big move would be good to have in blue. You don't need to have a big move every day, but you want to see every once in a while some big moves to the upside. And if you're thinking that it's going to be a downtrend, you want to see breakouts to the downside, trend score down, trend score down. So that's, we saw that on June 22nd, June 24th, we had a breakout to the downside, trend score number 2 was down, trend score number 1 was down. And you know what the price of Bitcoin was doing. So look, that's all that these little scores are. There's just another way for you to look at, the chart of Bitcoin that we all look at on TradingView. You can look at this and try to see here's a longer term chart, and then you might want to zoom in and you want to see, okay, what is the price doing here, and it's sort of going up and it's going down. Maybe you don't have time to zoom in and zoom out of the chart and look at everything that you want to look at, and look at the transaction volumes and everything else, and the Bitcoin dominance. You have to go to CoinMarketCap and click on another chart there. Maybe you don't have the time to go and click through all of those different charts, and here we just give it to you for free, as always, and just in a nice way to look at. And what I'll try to explain to you in a couple of videos later is really that's what the machines, that's what the algorithms, that's how all the machine learning works, is that it looks at a bunch of different data and it puts all that data together, and then it assembles a model with that. So that's really what we're trying to give you a feel for how machines and how algorithmic traders and how just people in general should think about the market. You just don't look at one chart, right, and then draw a conclusion about where the market is going. You have to look at a bunch of different things, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you sort of see what conclusion you want to draw, right? So if I look at this chart, just going to Bitcoin today, we can see that we've had a nice sort of bottom move off of this support level here, this 6,000 support. We had a nice big move, but we have to put the move in context. We're still in pretty much a downtrend, so we didn't get too bullish just yet, but we are starting to get some good signs, because we have some downtrends that are going to be broken here. Like this trend line is probably going to be broken soon, and if you're using some moving average systems, it's probably going to turn up as well. And you've had some big move buying pressure. So these are the sort of things you look at the bottom of a trend. But again, the whole point is to put all of this information together into a sort of mosaic and assemble the pieces of the picture. And that's what we're trying to do with Nvest, is give you the information, give you all the data, whether it's the price data, the technical data, you want to look at ranking data or sentiment data or whatever type of data it is. I'm going to give it to you so you can put it together easily in a nice visually appealing way, and then you'll be able to come up to make the conclusions for what you should do. So with that, I'm going to leave it. It's already a little long video here, but hopefully that explained a little bit about our Instagram account and what are these sort of pictures that we're pushing out every day, and hopefully you get a better feel for exactly what they are. Thanks.